Now we move into the blues field. We're all comfortable playing blues, but let's talk about this particular feel on this track. First thing that grabs you is it's a real strong, gritty shuffle. So that means that to this feel, you're going to use down-up strokes. And I'm back to locking in with the drums. That's the first step. Got my backbeat going, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now you're playing C7 and F7. Well, something doesn't sound right if I just play that backbeat. That's because in this kind of shuffle, we need to play on the upbeats, on the ands. Or if you're counting them in a triplet feel, it's less. I'll demonstrate. If I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or 1, let 2, let 3, let 4, let... You're going to want to bring out some of those upstrokes. So... 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That sounds like a horn section punctuation. And also, I'm not doing this. What's wrong with that? My X's, my scratching is too loud. Let's kill the track and listen to what my part really sounds like if you were to solo it in the studio. You can hear I've still got that backbeat, the palm slap taking place, but my ghost strokes, my X's are very light. So I'm conveying not only those horn section punctuations, but I've got the snare drum, the backbeat, and I've got the ride or hi-hat cymbals. Now, then you build on that with some kicks. Now, this is a really easy progression to play on. It's just 2 chords. But the interesting thing you could do is start putting some hip rhythms in. This would be especially effective if someone was soloing. You want to build it to a climax, feed them some rhythmic energy and some variations so that they can actually build their solo. So let's play along with the track, and I'm just going to mix up playing either on the downstroke or on the upstroke with it ringing. It'll be like a funky approach to this blues shuffle. I'll also include the 9 chord. Here's your C7, here's your 9 chord. There's the basic groove. Little kick down there, little glissando. Now, you wouldn't start off real busy, but let's assume a soloist has been playing and he or she's really starting to burn, really getting into it. You'd also wait to the end of the phrase where the drummer's going to put in a fill and the bass player's going to do a little stuff. You might leave out a stroke every now and then, but you're always in that grid work of the shuffle zone. Now move to the 9 chord. That really fits this track real nice. Half-step approach. Did you hear how the snare drum? The drummer was putting in a fill there, so I played along with him. So you could go all day on this, and I encourage you just to practice comping that way. Now that's the one rhythm guitar approach. That's where you're playing actual chords. But the other would be your boogie-woogie approach. Let's look at this. Simply it's just root and 5th and root and 6th. And then if you want to go up to the root and flat 7, you can do so. Now you might say, I already know that. Well, let me show you how we're going to mix that up with some other things. You're playing with a C7 and an F7. So those are 6th-string rooted and 5th-string rooted respectively. You've got this flat 3-3 move that's very effective. You locate the 3rd in the chord, so for the C chord, it's an E note. It's underneath your 2nd finger, 9th fret of the 3rd string. So that gives you that really strong flavor of the blues, the authentic sound, flat 3-3 move. That's always how it's going to be with a 6th-string rooted 7th chord. If you go to a 5th-string rooted, it's always minor 7-7. That's in essence what you're doing if you were to analyze it. So I'll be adding that in just a minute. It's a way to kind of cover 2 bases at once. especially if you're the only guitar player and you want to have a little more variety than just playing boogie-woogie or just playing chords. Now, when you go to the boogie-woogie, the issue of pick strokes comes into play. Now, I mentioned earlier this down, up, down, up. That's because this is a loose feel. I can't overemphasize the importance of you examining what pick stroke gives you the sound that you think fits best. If you go all down strokes, not only does it not feel comfortable, it doesn't sound right. The same things. If you play the boogie-woogie with all down strokes, you might say, well, yeah, that's pretty good. But it's not as loose as that down-up feel. Also, with the down-up, you get this kind of approach. Those kicks. It's on the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's specifically what I want to talk about. Those kind of little punctuations where you're actually functioning as a horn section.